Residency, Public, and Free by Anna von Reitz. I listen occasionally to conservative media, including some of the popular radio talk show hosts like Mark Levin and Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, not often, but once in a while. I do so mainly to see if any of them ever figure out what actually happened in this country, how our freedoms and money and everything else has been parted from us and by whom. So far, not. But my curiosity exposes me to their callers, and I hear these men and women with voices choked up, almost in tears because they are in such distress over the mess this country is in, and I hear them say things that show how confused they are. Today, there was a caller on one of the talk shows talking about public service and what that is supposed to mean. Another was talking about this free nation. And still another was talking about being a resident. Remember the fence? Americans on one side, the land side, and U.S. citizens on the other, the sea side? Okay, and you also remember that a resident is a temporary sojourner or inhabitant. If you are a resident or an inhabitant, you are just passing through? Got that? Now put it all together, when U.S. citizens are on our turf, they are residents, that is, temporary inhabitants of our land jurisdiction. When we are at sea, we are residing in their watery jurisdiction and are temporary inhabitants of the territorial states of states or municipal states of states. So the meaning of the word resident depends on which side of the fence you are on. They are residents with respect to us and we are residents with respect to them. To know what the word resident means in any given context, you have to pay attention to who is speaking. Territorial government agents consider you a resident of their states of states. Municipal government agents consider you a non-resident alien. And you, if you are educated and thinking straight, consider all of them residents in your states, as well. So when they call you a resident or say that you have residency in their state of state, you want to object and take exception to that presumption, and say, no, I am not resident in your state of state, you are resident in my state, instead. For example, no, I am not a resident of the state of Minnesota. I am a Minnesotan. I live here on the land and soil and this is my permanent homestead and domicile. Since they are standing on your soil, it is suddenly pretty hard for them to bluff their way through and pretend that you are residing in their state of state instead. Our states are populated, not inhabited, so that is one helpful way to cut through the verbal maze. No, Judge Whitaker, I am part of the population of Maine, not an inhabitant of the territorial state of Maine. The concept of a free nation is similar. A nation, by definition, can mean the people populating a specific geographically defined state, or it can mean a dependent sovereignty within a nation or state. American state citizens live in free states as Minnesotans, New Yorkers, Pennsylvanians, etc. U.S. citizens live in a dependent sovereignty that they also call a nation, but it is a nation of legal persons, not people. Thus, American state citizens live on the land and soil of their respective states and state republics. U.S. citizens live in territorial democracies called states of states, like state of Iowa. Citizens of the United States and U.S. citizens all live in municipal oligarchies called states of states, like the state of Florida. So, again, which nation are you talking about, and is it a free nation, or a dependent sovereignty calling itself a nation? The dependent nature of all the state-of-state entities is revealed by the fact that you can't have a state of Minnesota without first having and maintaining a Minnesota. Minnesotans are a free nation, but within Minnesota and living side by side with Minnesotans are various dependent nations that are not free at all. The persons inhabiting the state of Minnesota and their state-of-state government are a dependent nation. Ditto the persons inhabiting the municipal states of states. These persons are not free. At best, they experience liberty, which is what ship captains give their crews in port, if and when they please. Finally, some poor guy, a veteran almost in tears, was talking about the public and public service and public servants. Again, which public are you talking about? If you consent to register as a voter and vote in state of Maine elections, that's the public you are promoting, and service to that public means loyalty to the British territorial state of state and the British Crown Commercial Corporation running the state of Maine. Not quite the public our almost to tears caller means to invoke, is it? In fact, their public is our private, and our public is their private sector. It's like a mirror. They have contrived and coerced and hoodwinked so many people into their word maze, and into unknowingly supporting their private commercial corporation enterprises doing business as states of states, that our actual states and our lawful government and those enforcing the public law are few and far between. We have to wake up, folks. We have to turn this around, because right now, it's upside down. Public service to a state of state organization literally means service to their own private benefit and the benefit of their commercial corporations. Private service to a state of state organization means service to us, the actual public. So you can talk about the need for better public service to these people all day long, and to their ears, you are exhorting them to be more predatory, to steal more, to oppress more, to benefit themselves more. They hear this plea for public service in the same sense that a bull services a cow. What you want is for them to attend to their private service instead, that is, their service owed to us. What our tearful veteran needs is to come home and attend to our own public service, by expatriating from all presumed U.S. citizenship, by booting up his state assembly, including his state jural assembly, and enforcing the actual public law owed to this country and its people. Please hit subscribe, like, share, embed, and get ready for many more Anna von Reitz article videos.